You had talked about how important it is for you. You talked about women who are incarcerated and those who come out, and you said that you wanted to be an advocate and a voice for the voiceless, right? What do
Yes.
you think people need to understand about women who are returning home from being imprisoned?
First of all, they need to understand that when you lock women up, you lock up the hope of a community, you lock up the hope of a family. You understand? Long gone are the days when men are the breadwinner, where men bring the money to the house. Long gone are them days. Women are dropping their kids off to school. Women are making sure the kids is eating, the kids clean, the rent's paid, all this. They working two jobs, they going to school. I've seen it. Some of my
Right,
classmates, two jobs, still going to school and taking care of their children. You know what I mean?
right.
And without the mom around, I think it's a breeding ground for juvenile delinquency when the mom is not around.
Mm,
I think like that's why we got so many kids out here running around. Like either their mom's locked up or their mom's on drugs. The dad get to be who he be, but the mom holds the family together. The queen bee is the hardest worker of the beehive. They hold the family together. I'm
we,
just saying.
you
I'm just
said
saying.
it. Yep, yep. And so do you think people are misunderstanding that when, because you said the mom or the woman, when you are locking up a woman, you're locking up the family and the community. Do you think people are misunderstanding the significance of a woman's role in her family and in her community?
I believe they are. I believe they are. I believe this generation is. The generation I came from, there were women on my block that kind of steward us, kind of looked over us. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? The
Mm-hmm.
village, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
the store, I give you $1. They kept the wealth going within the community as little children. Like, my mom wasn't giving me extra money for lunch. I was scrubbing steps back in the day for the old elder ladies. I go
Yep.
to the market for them. I clean a backyard. This is how I used to make my little money so I
Yep.
can have lunch money for school because my mom was only able to give what she had. My dad was MIA. He was missing in action. So my
Mm-hmm.
mom bartended, she did a lot of things, to keep a roof over our head, I'm sure. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's so misunderstood. Like women, you know what I found out too? Women are getting locked up at a higher rate than men. Women are getting locked up at a higher rate than men. And why is that?
What do
Why
you think?
is that? Are we I think it's a lack of respect. I think women are hurt, and I think men are at the core of that sometimes. Um, I think the dignity of women has been lost. Like people don't care. Like a lot of times when I'm advocating, people be like, "Well, she shouldn't have never did that. She would have never got locked up." I said, "Oh, you missing the whole thing. She's locked up, but y'all don't gotta treat her like an animal. Y'all don't gotta treat her without dignity and respect."
Right.
Yeah, she locked up. I was locked up. But you should see how horrible they treat and how horrible they talk to us. Now they making us pay for sanitary pads and tampons in the prison.
Yeah. Yep.
Now you
Yep.
gotta pay $5 to go to see a doctor in the prison. What about the women who don't have money coming in? The,
Right.
the, it's
Thank you for that. Thank you for
so
sharing
when
that.
swag, so when we make love bags, swag, and whatnot prosper, we just a couple of months ago we just made over 300 love bags, and inside those love bags was tampons, sanitary pads, deodorant, things that women need. Right? I don't care if you locked up. How you strip everything away from her and make her pay for sanitary pads?
Yep.
It's just horrible. It's just
Yep.
horrible.
You talked about being a voice for the voiceless and working with folks in your community to access resources. What do you think is the best way for folks in the community to access resources that will help them with their stability or help them with their well-being? What's the best way for them to get access to those resources?
And what I in my experience is that they're not leaving the neighborhood. We got to bring the resources to them. And what that looks like is setting up a table on the corner in our neighborhood and having a bunch of people, partners, come and set up tables for resources, right? Having a resource event in our neighborhood. And we've had that a couple of times, like 2 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks prior after that. We've had it because that's what I said. They're not leaving this grid. This grid they not leaving it, right? I can't
Yep.
tell you how many times I walked out my door and the brother might say, yo, Faith, listen, man, I got to do community service. My parole officer or probation officer want me to do community service. Do you know where I can do it? I said, yep, come right to 717 East Shelton. Why not prosper? Reverend Michelle is going to put you to work and sign your paper. He's like, oh, thanks. And then we got this straight out of trouble thing where if you've been on probation for 18 months and you got a long probation term, you can go up for early termination, and they don't know that. So now I'm posting stickers on storefronts, you know what I mean? And they like,
Yep.
Faith, what's out of trouble? And I'm like, yo, you on probation? You absconding? Are you on the warrant and you're running? Let us help you. What does that look like? I said, come talk to me. Come on down to the office and talk to me, and we'll have a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to bring the resources to them. They're not going to go out, especially they don't know where the resources at. They don't know
Mm-hmm.
because I can't tell you, Kelly, how many times I came home from prison looking for resources and I couldn't find them. But
Mm.
now that I'm in the network, I know where they at now. But
Right.
I'm coming out naked, like a fish out of water, and wanting to do the right thing. And where are the daggone resources? I need help.
Yep.
Mental health. How can I get connected to a mental health? Where are they at? How can I get service? I don't want to go back to jail. And
Right.
and and time and time again, the seed of discouragement seeped in my spirit, and I was like, F it, I'm going back to what's familiar. So I know that the resources got to come to them. They're not going to go, and they don't know where to look. They don't know where to look because I didn't.
Yep. 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 That's interesting. And so now you are that bridge. You are the one, you have access to the knowledge and the place where resources are, but you are still in your community. So you're able to, people know to come to you to ask for, how do I get this? Where do I get that?
So we had it last summer on a corner of True and Shelton. And this guy I know, all the guys, I'm not even from this area. I'm from North Philly, born and raised, but I landed here through homelessness and having to be here at Why Not Prosper. So now I'm in the Germantown community. And this guy named Black, he got killed on a corner last summer. And so the guys, they hang on the corner. I don't judge them. They do what they do. I don't care about none of that. They respect me. When I first moved around here, they was like, Auntie, I got this, I got that. And I had to pull them to the side, like, listen, brother, I'm walking this over. Like, I don't care what you do, but I don't do it. And I would like for you guys not to offer it to me. And they was like, all right, so they're then moving forward. They be like, Auntie, hi, how you doing, Auntie? So the guy got killed. I took a plaque. Let me show you.
All right.
I hung a memorial up of the guy who got killed. So they sent me pictures of the
Oh,
guy,
wow.
right?
Wow.
Sent it to my phone. So I paste them here and I get them to sign rest in peace. It helps
Right.
their mental health. So I was
Yeah.
leaving to go to London a couple of months ago and it faded. I hadn't laminated it. So the
Yep.
rain, weather beat it. But a couple of months ago, a week before I was leaving to go to London, one of the brothers pulled me over and said, Auntie, listen, the memorial is fading. Can you put another one up? So I said, yeah, send me some pictures. So I went and got the pictures printed off. And
Yeah.
this is the second one because I just put a brand new one up there, but I laminated the whole board. So it's
Yeah.
hanging on the corner. How about they had the courage to ask me? It helps
Yeah.
their mental health. See this
Yep.
board every day.
Yep. Yep. And that's interesting because it's like, what if they feel comfortable opening up to you about like just needing to remember their friend and have a spot where you can see him and remember the good times and memorialize him, what could it then open up for them in terms of like maybe I need somebody to talk to, or maybe I
Yeah,
need to think about something else to do. You
yeah,
know, this is the first step because you're somebody trusted, it sounds like,
yeah,
in your
yeah,
community.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And 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 uh and so yeah, it did open up the door because they won't they won't talk about it amongst themselves like if I walk past. But
Right.
if they see me, if they're by themselves and they catch me walking, they be like, Auntie, come here. Can I talk to you? And I'll be like, yeah. And this one guy, he was like, man, I really miss my friend. He got killed for nothing. And I was just an ear. I just listened to him. We sat on the stoop. I said, come
Yep.
on, sit down. You got time? I got time. Let's sit
Yep.
down and talk about it. So they won't pull me if they crowd in the crowd because don't nobody want to appear weak. So I get that. It's this
Right.
man male bravado, you know. But long as they know that I'm somebody they can talk to, right? I'm like an elder. I'm 59, so I want y'all to talk to me. Somebody I had elders talk to me.
Right.
Elders I could go to. Well, not,
Yep.
so yeah. So it was good, they reached out and I supported them.
That's
It's
awesome.
like I'm building relationships with these brothers. You know what I mean? I saw a cluster of young boys. I was outside yesterday and they was all with the poo shiesty mask over them. I was like, hey, little brothers, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's
Yeah.
90 degrees. I ain't saying, but it's 90 degrees out there. Y'all niggas got like, yo. But and then I was at the gas station yesterday, and this guy walked up. He had a Pooh Shiesty mask on. And he was like, excuse me, miss, you think you could give me $1? Here I go, excuse me, brother. You think you could take that Pooh Shiesty mask off? And I give you $2. He was like, you right. I said, take it off, man. Because if it was not me and you walked up on an elderly lady, she would be scared to talk to you because you look intimidated. And your voice tells me you innocent. You a little boy. He was like, you right, auntie, you right. Even when I gave him the $2, he stood there and he was like, you right. I'm gonna take a look at that. I was like, give me a hug. And he was like, and he gave me the side hug, but I needed him to bring it around. But that's okay. I got a little he was open, right? And so yeah. Yeah, I'll be trying to
Everybody
get
you
him,
know need to
man. I'll be
know.
trying to get him. And
Right.
sometimes, you know, young folks don't need people talking at them. You know what I mean? Like, coming at their neck. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I code switch a bit. I get there where I'm full of the Holy Spirit, but I'm trying to save some souls here.
Yeah. Yeah. You meet people where they are is what it sounds like. You meeting people where
Yes,
they are.
yes,
That's
yes,
awesome.
yes.
That's awesome. Do you Okay, so our original question was about the best way for folks to access resources, and what you said was the resources need to come to the community because you feel like people are not coming outside of that grid or that bubble to get resources.
They
They
not.
don't know where it is, and they're not like
They,
if it's something downtown, you feel like nobody's going downtown to get the anything.
listen, we got expungement clinics at our office on Mondays that people could come and get start the process of their expungement clinic. Now I got access to expungement clinics going all around the city, and I
Mm-hmm.
put flyers up in them off, but they won't go. They won't go. They won't leave where they're at, you know. And so maybe a few of them, but not all of them. You know what
Yep.
I mean? Or
Yep.
maybe if one step out, then they be like, "Yo, man, you going down there?" And then they'll. But yeah, it's kind of hard. First of all, they like I said, and it's real important that you hear this. They don't know where the resources at. It's up to me to even tell them, look, it's an expungement clinic happening at 15th and Market at Sweet something something. You want to
Yep.
go? Ain't nobody walking around telling them where to go to get better, to get a better
Yep.
quality of life. Ain't nobody
Mm-hmm.
doing that. People are scared of it, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't
Mm-hmm.
know their mind. If you meet people where they are and not try to talk at them and talk with them, have a conversation. So yeah.
You talked a little bit about the gun violence in your neighborhood, but that you didn't feel unsafe in your community because the young folks they looked out for you, and that stuck with
Yeah.
me. What
All these
what do you
brothers, and this just part of the brothers, all of them, but the one in the middle, he passed. He said, Faith, we can ready, something get ready to go down. Can you go in the house? You know, I was sitting in the backyard because the gate faces the outer street. And I was like, cool, thank you. And it happened, but I
Yep,
was safe.
yep. What do you think contributes to your sense of safety?
My lived experience, just being out there, being unsafe. My lived experience contributes to me being safe because I know what I know what I'm looking for. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
What to look for and how to move. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting because you're talking about your neighborhood. The neighborhood is not necessarily safe, but you feel safe in it because you feel
Yeah,
like you know how to navigate.
yeah, and because Kelly, I practice keeping myself safe. So if I don't take care of what I need to take care of when the daylight is out, when it get dark, I'm not going to the corner store because
Right.
that's when I know people hanging in front of the Chinese food place, people hanging on the corners where they sell the Lucy's, they just hanging there, right? And so that raises something like, yo, you know, just get what you get. I'm practicing to keep myself safe. I don't go in bars. I don't go. I don't do that because I don't do drugs and alcohol. But I'm very safe about myself. Like I move really safely and really carefully. Like I know it's a lot of happenings that's happening on these trains and the subways and all. So I try to catch buses on top of the ground or I have access to a vehicle when I need it. And when I don't have that access, I catch the buses. I stay above ground. I don't try to go in the. So I practice keeping myself safe. You know what I mean? I don't do it if I don't have a purpose or a destination in them streets. I'm not out there. I'm real comfortable in the house by myself. Very comfortable.
I hear you.
I'm comfortable with me. You know, I
Yep.
had this girl talk to me the other day, and she was like, Faith, I always feel like I needed the man, and now he locked up, and now I still need somebody. And I was like, you gotta get comfortable with you, sister. When you get comfortable with being with you, what? A man, a girl, a woman, a cat, well, I need a dog. I'm on the puppy, but yeah, you get comfortable with you, walk in your power. We got power. Walk in your power. You got
Yeah.
all this power on you. And she was
Yep.
like, you really see it? I said, somebody seen it in me, girl. I'm on my second degree. I ain't see this. Somebody seen it in me. God put them right in my path and say, go to school. I was like, no, go to school. I was like, I can't do school. Here I am.
The question is, how do you care for others in your neighborhood and how do folks care for you?
Um, I care. How do I care for others in my neighborhood? By just not judging them, just not having no judgment on them, just treating them as the human being they are. You know, they respect me, I respect them, and even when they don't have the propensity or the know-how to respect me, it's okay. That's no judgment. I try to see them in a loving essence. Everybody
Mm,
I meet, seeing them in a loving essence, because that's the way my God see me. He don't count my
hmm
sins against me. He forgives me. Who am I not to forgive? Even the
mm,
guy who molested me, I've never seen him again in my life now that I'm older, but I forgive him. He's not going to take that power from me, you know?
hmm
And so,
hmm
yeah, and I guess they see me the same way. It's reciprocal, right? I speak to everybody. Hey, young king. Hey, brothers. How y'all doing? You know what I mean? Okay, everybody
hmm
all right? You all right, auntie? They call me auntie. I'll be like, yep, I'm all right. I'm living the dream, walking it out. And they be like, auntie, you crazy. We love auntie. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
reciprocal.
Yep,
You give love, you know what I mean? And
yep, yep.
sometimes you might get one or two to look you up and down, but that's okay. They'll catch on. They'll catch on. If
Yes.
they see you wasn't, you don't want no harm for them. You ain't talking no stuff about them. You ain't calling them out their name. You ain't addressing them as, you know, anything other than brother or young king.
Switching gears a little bit. So you mentioned in your call, you mentioned getting your bachelor's degree. and accessing food stamps and welfare health insurance for your basic needs. So has getting your bachelor's degree eased that burden for you? Yes, no, or maybe something in between.
Um, I don't know, because you know what, Kelly? I think that I went to school to accomplish these degrees for a self-esteem measure. I don't know. I've had people ask me, all right, Faith, what you going to do with this degree? And I was like, I have no clue. I just wanted to see if I could do it. And so now what it looks like with the food stamps and all, I'll be glad one day when I can pay my own health insurance. I'll be glad when I don't have to go through recertification every 6 months, taking my pay stubs. They just cut my food stamps by about $75. I get $100 in stamps because they say I make too much. How is that I make too much? I'm on a grant. I'm on a stipend. I'm not. I'm producing these things that say I make $1,000 a month with one grant. I make about $800 every 2 weeks at this other nonprofit I work for. Right, I'm probably under their grant. I don't know. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How is that? And now you got to show all these pay stubs. I'll be glad when the day come when I don't have to deal with that, because it's humiliating. It's humiliating. It's very humiliating. Not saying that I'm better than, I just want to level up. I just want to
Yes.
grow up.
Yep.
I grew up on food stamps and medical cards and all this all my life. I don't want that for me,
Yep.
and so, and it's humiliating and it's degrading. The way these people talk to you in these welfare offices is very degrading. And sometimes it has the propensity to bring a curse up out of me. And I don't want to be like that. That would go against everything I stand for.
I hear
So
you.
I'll be glad when it's over. I don't want to deal with it. But I
Yep.
thank God for it. If this is the season I'm supposed to receive it, okay, fine. But Lord, you know my heart. I want to be released from that. I want to hold my own. So what does that look like with 2 degrees, man? Now I need
Right.
to figure out what the hell, who's going to hire me and pay me a life sustaining wages, living wages,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
I'm not going to
Yes.
no McDonald's, I tell you that much. I ain't flipping no daggone burgers and mopping nobody's floors.
That season is over, huh?
Yeah, and I humbly say that. I'm not arrogantly or haughty saying that. I humbly
Hmm.
say that because I've done that.
Yes.
But
Yes.
my pastor talked about we work 20, 30 years of our life. We standing upright. And when it's all over and we retire, we could barely walk because we've been dogged all our lives. Just dogged at work, you know? Can barely
Mm-hmm.
walk, barely go up to the altar.
Yep. 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 And you are wanting something different.
Absolutely, Kelly. If the Lord says the same, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. The last question is a three-parter. You're going to respond to the question, and it just changes a little each time. So the first one is, my biggest dream for myself is.
My biggest dream for myself is to be financially stable. And I don't know what that looks like, man. Where I don't have to worry about paying a bill, paying life insurance, they just coming out of my account automatically. I don't even have to worry about it. I ain't got to worry about, oh my God, my phone bill coming up. Oh my God, I gotta pay my rent. Oh my God. Just living. My biggest dream is not to live paycheck to paycheck. How about that? For real.
My biggest dream for
That's
my
stressful.
family.
My biggest dream is for my family is that they meet the Lord. They meet the Lord. Because once you meet the Lord, He gonna take care of everything. I just believe that. Kelly, I'm proof. I'm a witness. And so and that they become financially stable, because we share each other's heartaches and burdens, right? And when my sister can't make her rent, she'll call me and say, Faith, can you help me? And I want to be able to help her. So
Yeah.
maybe that's my dream too.
Yep. Yep. To be able to help family. Yep. My biggest dream for my community is.
I just think that they have the courage to address their mental health issues. because I think
Mm,
mental health driving is a driving force in all this gun violence that's going around. You know what I mean? Dealing with their traumas. You know what I mean? I walked through my whole life trying to deal with trauma and the things that happened to me. And like I said once before, it manifested in a horrific drug addiction, man, 6 years ago. And I've been 6 years clean, and I can just imagine what people are doing to self medicate. These drugs they got out here that's with horse tranquilizers and, fentanyl and all this, and they're dying before they can address their mental health. And just to having the courage too. That's why I want to be out here. I want to help people know that it's okay if you need to address that mental health. Man, I'm doing it. I'm doing
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. And what could that open up for somebody? Yeah,
And what's the worst that can happen? It can only make you better, man. That's the worst that can happen.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's an important thing for people to hear. Yeah.